Good morning, Patriots. How are you today? This is Mike Cook coming to you live from Central Missouri. I hope you're having a great and wonderful day. I hope you got yourself a nice hot cup of Joe. Keep your day going. Take a little bit with me while you're doing it. And whatever it is you like to drink in the morning, you go ahead and drink that, okay? And we're going to have a nice little talk about all the happenings that are happening. I tell you what, stuff is coming faster than I can even follow it. A month ago or so, I was like going, man, this thing is dragging on. Now things are happening. Boom, boom, boom. One thing after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. Can't keep up with it. So as you're jumping on, as you're logging in, if you're watching on the rerun, let me know. If you're watching live, let me know that you're there. Say hi. I won't know that you're there unless you say hi. It doesn't tell me who's logging on because of the software program I use, but that's okay. So as you're jumping on here, do me a favor, go over to the other places I'm at right now. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and go over and follow me on Facebook. You may have to drop out of the live feed. There's probably not a link in this feed on Facebook because they don't like me. You have to drop out, go to my personal page, follow me, and then come right back. You won't miss anything. I'm just doing the introductions right now. So go do that. And if someone shared this and you saw it, you can still do that. You can still follow me and you're watching on the reruns. That's fine too. Also, if you're on the YouTubes right now, go over on YouTube. This is what my YouTube looks like right there. It says Mike Cook, and it's just got the little A10 on there. Go over there, and if you're watching there, subscribe, ring the bell, and share the video from there. Hit the little thumbs up button. That would really help me. If you're on Telegram, I load every video that I make loads on the Telegram. Also, all of the prep, the show prep, as Rush Limbaugh used to say, God rest his souls, the stack of stuff is over on Telegram right now. I am sharing the link right now into the comments. At least it will be there on Facebook. I don't know if that gets over onto the comments on YouTube or not. But go over there, hit the little, you can click on that link. It'll take you over to my page. If you haven't loaded the app onto your phone or your computer, go ahead and do that. You may have to go to Telegram's page to that. You may not be able to get it in the App Store. Like everything else, they're trying to limit your ability to get information. Also, I load every video onto Rumble. Please go over to Rumble and share the video from there. I'd really appreciate it. Watch it and share it from there and hit the little Rumble button. Rumble's where we're still free for now. All this may end tomorrow. So spread yourself around, kind of get spread around. I'm on the different sites too, but those are the ones I use the most. I only can do so much, right? So anyways, I do appreciate it. It is a beautiful day here in Central Missouri. They were talking about maybe some rain coming, but it sure don't look like it. Man, it's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. So let's go get this show on the road. And I should have screenshot this to put it up, but I didn't. So there's all kinds of ads. But the Babylon Bee had a great story out saying that police shootings dropped to 0 after mass hirings of stormtroopers. There they are right there. It says, in an effort to reduce the number of deadly police shootings across the nation, the nation has resorted to hire Imperial stormtroopers from another galaxy. Since the mass hiring effort, police shootings have reportedly been reduced to 0. Yeah, these guys can't hit anything with their blasters, the police chief Jeb Washington said. Police Chief Jeb Washington. It's actually hilarious to try to watch them run after criminals in their clunky armor and horrible aim. Ha! Criminals are joining the change too, since they can taunt the troopers without consequences as they yell things like "halt" and "blast them." Halt, blast them. Yeah, like that. I played that game. While firing harmlessly laser blasters in all directions. In spite of their scary-looking armor, they can easily be taken down with a rock thrown by a small child or an Ewok. Only 1 week into the program, over 3,200 stormtroopers have been killed in Chicago alone. We're not worried, said Chief Washington. They're totally expendable since the Empire will send us as many as we want. They've been great help to us. We just need to train them to be a little less white. Of course. Couldn't have it any other way. There you go. Got the little badge and everything. Isn't that wonderful? So now we know that that the stormtroopers are helping the police. You know, I heard a joke one time said, what happens if the A-team, for those of you that aren't my age, you have to look that one up, you younger folks. The A-team was a TV show in the 80s. If the A-team got in a firefight with a bunch of stormtroopers, what would happen? Nothing. Nothing would happen. Anyways, moving right along. If you don't get that one, you know, Bob Hope said if they don't get it, let it go. So anyways, oh yes, we got to enjoy life while we're here. So I'm going to start off on a positive note. This video got a lot of responses on my Telegram page, and I mean, it's just an excellent little video. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. I hope I'm not echoing too bad. I don't even have my ears in yet. We're going to go ahead and put this video on, and the message of this is just outstanding.
Hey, you made it, but you look tired. You tired? Yeah, that was a rough stretch of road, wasn't it? Yeah, I get that. But listen, you go ahead and rest, because you earned it. But don't quit. And before you get back on that road, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to let go of all that dead weight. Let go of those mistakes. You don't have to live in them no more. Let go of those people who keep holding you back. Let go of everything that's holding you down. The only thing you need to bring with you on this stretch of road is faith. That's it. I'll see you at the next rest stop. Don't quit.
Don't quit. We've made it this far. God has not brought us this far just to take us this far. And wait till you see what I got at the end. Hang around, folks. Don't leave. I'm going to finish that off at the end. We're going to start with that. We're going to start with the positive and end with the positive, but we're going to go through some negative. Kind of sounds like life right now. Got to go through it to get there. And there's a whole bunch there that we have to go through. And it is absolutely ridiculous the amount of crap that we got to go through before we can get there. So as I get this video lined up here, we're going to talk a little bit about the coronies. We'll talk a little bit about that because there's a whole lot of happenings on that as they try to use this to destroy our freedoms, because liberty no longer exists in the People's Republic of America. And just listen to what this news reporter over here on the CNNs, this is a doctor and then talking head, just self-explanatory. Just go ahead and listen.
Dr. Fauci and President Biden have been taking is a societal approach. They're saying there is the light at the end of the tunnel for all of us together. And when we can reduce the level of infection in the community, increase vaccination rates, that's when at some point, hopefully soon, but at some point, we can relax the restrictions. I don't know if that works for many Americans. For many people, it probably does work to say, yes, we're in this together. It's patriotic. We're doing this together. But I think a lot of people are thinking kind of selfishly, thinking what's in it for me. And they're not willing to wait until this elusive herd immunity. If we can tell those individuals who otherwise would not get vaccinated, if we say to them, the moment of freedom for you is when you get vaccinated, when you reach the 2-week mark. These are people who otherwise might not be vaccinated. So let's give them that incentive.
So let's give them the incentive by saying to them, you will not be free. You will not have your liberty guaranteed you. Who guarantees your liberty? God. We are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights that among these is your liberty. Among these does not mean it's limited to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Among these means that those are just a representation of all of the liberties that God has given you. But she's saying you don't get your liberty until you get vaccinated. You see, until you're vaccinated, you're a second-class citizen. Until you're vaccinated, you don't have rights, because since they don't believe in God, where did your rights come from? And so this was posted on one of our local group where we're fighting this stuff here in our town. And it says, do you remember when schools would offer a little fun and competition and rewards as incentives to do good deeds, like donate some socks for the needy? The incentives used, I got to make this bigger, I'm sorry. Ugh, blind in one eye, can't see out the other. Let's see. Donate some socks for the needy. The incentive used to be things like an extra recess or an ice cream party or a movie or popcorn. This school felt like the best form of motivation they could use to offer as a gift was oxygen. Because I guess if you donate socks, you have an invisible shield to the protection around you for 20 or 30 minutes, depending on the number of socks donated. So this is what the school did right here. It says the Shoe and Sock Drive. Thank you so much for the donations to the Shoe and Sock Drives for Echo Ministries. In all of our history classes, collected 34 shoes and 140 pairs of socks. What a blessing for our local community. Fifth period won our class competition will receive a 30-minute mask break tomorrow, because during that 30 minutes, there won't be any coronis around to affect you because you donated enough socks. Fifth period took second place, and they'd get 25 minutes. And second period, they weren't nearly as good, so their immune systems aren't good enough they only get a 20-minute mask break. And the rest of all you losers who didn't donate enough, well, you don't get no mask break. You should do a better job. Because you see, we're in a worldwide pandemic where people are dying in the streets. I mean, if you take a look over in India, people are dying everywhere, except all the pictures they're showing you are fake. Go to my Telegram page. You can watch the videos where they're doing like they was doing here. They're going in their emergency rooms and they're all empty. Huh. But people are dying in the streets. We're dying in droves. We got to shut everything down. The third wave is coming. You might need 26 shots and 7 masks. Unless, of course, you donate socks. And then you don't need to wear a mask. It's kind of like our local school board here. They're like, we got a mask forever. The one guy wears double masks and a shield while he's at his meetings. But not when he's at the Cinco de Mayo restaurant eating for celebrating Cinco de Mayo when he doesn't wear a mask, because we don't need masks. Rules for you, but not for me. Then there's this post right here. It said we should focus on, this is from Newsweek.com. There's an article that we should focus on protecting the vulnerable from the COVID infection option. It's opinion, excuse me, if COVID infection. This is opinion. And this person says, as a member of the as a member of a regulated health profession, we were told last week that we have no right to question the chief medical officer or the government's policies related to the management of COVID. If we do, we will be fined up to $100,000 for violating public health orders. So if you are wondering why we're not exploring options such as these, such as why don't we take care of the vulnerable and not worry about the healthy? Well, there's your answer, because they're told to, because we live in a top-down society designed basically to destroy us. Freedoms do not exist at all. That's the purpose. That's the plan. That's what we're here to do. Ooh, what's going on here? Okay, I was making sure I got stuff set up right. Freedoms do not exist. They only exist because government gives them to you. You see, they don't believe in God. So that part about we're endowed by our creator, well, there is no creator. So therefore we cannot be endowed by him, because if there is no if there is a creator, then our rights don't come from government, they come from the creator. You see where I'm going with this? You see why I keep repeating that? This has gotten so obsessive and so out of your mind stupid Here's Kamala Harris with a mask on, walking next to her husband with a mask on, around a bunch of people with a mask on a rainy day, like this was yesterday, the day before, as Kamala Harris is getting ready to get onto a staircase. I'm not going to say she's getting onto a plane, and I'll show that here in a second. But watch what they do. I love you so much, honey. I love you. With a mask on? You're kissing your husband with a mask on. You know they don't do that. Never mind. I'm not even going to go there. But let me show you something else. So, love you. See you later. Be safe. I'll come up this here staircase. Whoops. Let me fast forward that. I'll salute these guys. I'll come up this. Okay. I'm on it. I can't. Okay. Look right there. You see where my cursor's circling right there? You see the shadow of whoever that is, probably Secret Service or military guy right there. You see that? Y'all see that? Shouldn't there be a shadow of an airplane right there? I mean, those airplanes are quite big, the way I understand. I mean, I'm no expert. So there's an airplane back over there. But where's the landing gear and the wing? How and I mean, things aren't adding up. I mean, there may be an airplane. Maybe it's Wonder Woman's airplane. You know, Wonder Woman, back in the 80s, she flew around in an invisible airplane. Maybe that's what Kamala Harris has, because everybody thinks she's Wonder Woman. I mean, she's so awesome. She's great. I want to be just like her one day. Not really, because that would be weird. So, checking my notes to see where I'm supposed to be at. Let's see. So the media is not quite telling this. You're not supposed to be watching me scroll through all that stuff. I apologize. If you want to go to my Telegram page, you could actually watch all these videos and see all that stuff I just scrolled through right there. So here's another little video to tell you how the media is not exactly telling us how things really are.
This is the kind of stuff that the media doesn't want to show you. This is a white man at a baseball game holding an umbrella in the rain over a veteran. This veteran is black. This man is white. There's no hate here. There's no racism here. We are not against each other. Now share this good news to someone.
So that's who we really are. Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are really, really good at saying, that's not who we are. We're Americans, and that's not who we are. You're right, Barack Obama, Kamala, Joe. You guys don't have a flipping clue who we are. You see, that's who we are. You see what that is right there? That's called respect. It's called respect for a man who put on a uniform. Don't give a damn what the man looked like to put on the uniform. He put on the uniform. That means respect right there. That's what that is. And see, most of these folks, they don't even understand what respect is. They don't even have a clue what respect is. So Black Lives Matter has issued some demands, you know, because Black Lives only matter when they can make money off of it. So this is what they want. This is going to make Black lives better. One, they want to convict and ban Trump from all political office, future political office. They want to expel Republican members of Congress who attempted to overturn the election and incited a white supremacist attack, which is a lie. The ones that overturned the election was them, the Marxist left. Launch a full investigation into the ties between white supremacy and the Capitol Police, law enforcement, and the military. Why don't we do a full investigation into the ties between white supremacy and Joe Biden? White supremacy and Hillary Clinton. White supremacy and Bill Clinton. Heck, for that matter, white supremacy and Barack Hussein Obama. Permanently ban Trump from all digital media platforms because, you know, freedom of speech and First Amendment and all. Defund the police because we want to be able to rob liquor stores, loot, and pillage at will. Don't let the coup be used as an excuse to crack down on our movement. Don't. We want you to look at them, but don't look at us, because we don't ever do anything wrong. We're a breath of fresh air. And pass the Breathe Act, which is the police were born out of the slave patrols. I can't even go any further than that. I can't even go further than that. The police were not born. There was. No, that's not what. I just read that part right there for the first time right here live. That's not where the police came from, you freaking morons. You want to know where police came from? Local communities, as this country started bubbling up and growing, realized that they needed some sort of law enforcement or some sort of regulatory authority to make sure that their cities don't go into mayhem. So they organized and they hired mayors and city councils, who then hired police chiefs and police deputies and whatnot. That's how it happened. What we need to do is get back to local control. That's what we need to do. We need to remove this ever-growing behemoth of a federal government and bring it back down to the people locally, and then locally can make their own decision. And if you don't like the decision that they're making, you could do one of two things. One, you can vote. Two, you can move. Our founding fathers believed very much in voting with your feet. Didn't like the way it was in one state, move to another. I'm very libertarian minded in this. If Colorado wants to legalize all drugs and abortion and fairy dust or whatever else, and Missouri wants to say no drugs, no abortion, and absolutely no fairy dust, you get to decide it as an American citizen. I don't want to live in Missouri. I want to smoke my pot and sprinkle myself with fairy dust. I'm moving to Colorado. And someone in Colorado says, I don't want to mess with this crap. These people laying around smoking their dust and flying around with their fairy dust. I want to move to Missouri. But no, we can't do that. We have to regulate everybody all the same equally, so that they have more power and control, because that, my friends, is really what it's all about. Power and control. Okay, where was I? See what you do for. We're on number 5. Okay, this is a good one. This is a good one. This is James O'Keefe, and he made some people mad. I know you're not going to believe that, right? James O'Keefe is a rock star, in my opinion, and he's under a deposition, and he's being questioned by an attorney who is an ass. Pardon my language. This guy is a jerk beyond. You'll just have to see. But James O'Keefe is a boss, and this is excellent. So go ahead. Let's go ahead and play this, and you just watch.
Had you ever heard a union official make that statement prior to, April 5th of 2017?
Student claimed there was some inappropriate behavior in the home. We negotiated a resignation for him.
Right.
He didn't lose the certification. He got the $50,000 payment. He knows what he did.
Well, I have talked to sources who have indicated to me that these sorts of statements occur and these sorts of things occur.
You're willing to share the names of the sources?
I'm going to object and direct
I don't think
witness
a New York Times reporter or an NBC News reporter or a 60 Minutes reporter would ever reveal their sources.
Mr. O'Keefe, the difference between you and them is that they would never compare themselves to you. Are
Statements.
you willing to share the source? The answer is yes or no.
No.
So
And the Supreme Court of the United States has backed me up on that. A local president of a teachers union in Kansas. And he said national presidents would love to see O'Keefe take a hit. President of Michigan, AFT, said, quote,
to have the lawsuit in any way possible stop Project Veritas from doing the kind of work that it does.
you can mug for the camera all you want. What it comes down to is the truth.
you brought me here against my will. You brought the cameras here.
Mhm.
You're the ones suing us. You're the ones admitting that you're using this as a device to stop us. I think it's an anathema to the First Amendment. I think it's a national disgrace. And so help me God, I will not stop fighting for our First Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Well, we think you're a national disgrace, Mr. O'Keefe.
I object to the representation of counsel. If we're going to badger the witness, we can wrap this up real fast. And
I take that
I'll
as a
take the
compliment,
early
by the way.
flag.
Just want to know whether you are asserting that Lauren Windsor or anyone else communicated either with me or anyone associated with my law firm.
I'll object to the extent that the witness did not say that.
I'd like to answer the question. We're about to find out, because today we're issuing a subpoena to Randy Weingart.
Okay, we'll take 10 minutes.
I'd like to know if you believe that my client, whatever her name was, and anybody associated with her said those things that you said they said. I'm Smug Attorney Esquire. Yeah, we're about to find out because I'm subpoenaing them. I tell you what, that guy is awesome. I really enjoy Project Veritas. I mean, you may not like him, but as far as investigative and journalism goes, he is the top dog. There is nobody out there that does as good as he does at the investigation journalist, because nobody's out there doing it, period. No, they get the phone call every morning and they say, oh, yeah, okay, that's what you want me to say? Okay, yeah, okay, so you want me to say just like that? Those exact words. Okay, let me write those down. Okay, we got it. And then you get to see that Mockingbird video where the media is repeating the exact same thing over and over and over and over. Barack Obama was on that phone call this time last year when he was bashing Trump. How do we know he was on that nationwide phone call bashing Trump? Because they released the part where he's bashing Trump because they thought it was so good. Oh, he said bad things about Trump. But I have to ask, if you hear that going off in my background, at the auction the other day, I bought a whole bunch of clocks, and I have them all hang up, and they're all TikTok, and they're all going off right now because it's right at 9 o'clock. So I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's dinging and pinging and dancing and all kinds of stuff. But anyways, so they get on these phone calls, and they orchestrate what the narrative is anything other than the truth, therefore it's a lie, is going to be today. That's how come they all say the same thing. Is how is it that MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC, Washington Post, New York Times, etc., all say the exact same thing every single time? Because they get their marching orders from nationwide phone calls where they get together and they find out what they're supposed to say. There's no curiosity of any kind. There goes the other clock. You hear it? I love old clocks because they just tick. You see, why do you have all these wind-up clocks? One, I sell them. Two, when the power goes out, I'll still know what time it is. The old mechanical wind-up clocks, they're pretty awesome. Anyways, so here is another media loser, and he's talking to Michael Flynn as Michael Flynn's going in someplace. And it's just the arrogance of this guy. So what you have here is you have a general who served, I don't know, 25, 30 years in the military, who done things all over the world. He was a spy. He was a spook. He served in some clandestine stuff. He's been involved. He's sharp end of the spear. That's who this guy is. And then you got this kid right here that's what, 25, 30 years old, went to college, and that's about it. And listen to his attitude and the way he talks. What an arrogant little know-it-all. But anyways, let's just listen to this.
How you doing?
Great. How's life?
Pretty good. How are you doing? Did you believe that QAnon was real?
You mean Blue Anon?
No.
What's so funny about that?
No, QAnon. No, because there was just the HBO doc, and it said that Ron Watkins is QAnon. Do you think Ron Watkins is QAnon?
Oh, seriously, why did you laugh at that?
Do you believe that QAnon was an actual military personnel?
Why do you laugh at what I just said?
I'm laughing because it's funny, because it's so fucking stupid. Because Q is just a dumb thing. It's funny.
Because Q's just a dumb thing. It's funny. It's so effing stupid. You know what I just noticed?
No, because there was just the HBO doc, and it said that
Just watch this right
that
here.
Ron Watkins
What's that in his back pocket right there?
is QAnon.
You see that? You see that in the back pocket right there? You know what that is? That's a red hat. See, that's how he got close. He dressed up as a Trump supporter. He's going to infiltrate. He's going to be the James O'Keefe of the left. He's going to infiltrate, and he's going to corner this guy, and he's going to ask him, you think Ron Watkins is Q? You know, the only people that think Ron Watkins is Q are you dumbass reporters who don't have a clue what you're talking about. Anybody doesn't know, Ron Watkins is Code Monkey Z, and he's an Anon. Anons are the people who take the Q posts and try to figure out what they mean. And Ron Watkins he's a computer expert, supposedly a smart guy, whatever. I'm really on the fence on which side he is actually on. But I digress. So you got these people, and they're just acting like I'm so much better than you because do you believe in QAnon? And he says, you mean BlueAnon? He just blows this guy right out of the water. You know that was a massive troll back to this guy, right? He just Mike Flynn's just screwing with him. You know that, right? That's exactly what that was. That was him screwing with him. That's why he got so mad, because he finally realized. It's kind of like one time. You know, you get those messages on Facebook, and some guy clones your best buddy. You know, your best buddy John Smith, right? You talk to him all the time on Facebook, and all of a sudden you get a message from John Smith. Only it's not connected to the rest of the message. And this guy's only on Messenger. He's not actually on Facebook, and it's fake, and you know it's fake. And he says, hi. And if you don't answer him, he says, hi. And if you don't answer him, he says, hi. You know the ones I'm talking about, right? So you answer him and you say, what? And he'll say, how are you? And you say, I'm fine. And he'll say, have you heard the great news? And you'll say, tell me. The new government program that says that they'll give you grants and money and all this stuff, and your name's on the list. And I said to the guy, my name's on the list? He said, John Smith, my name's on the list? We can't be on a list. We can't be on the government's got us on we can't be on a list. Oh my God, this is it. They're coming out. It's time to go. You know where to meet, right? I'm grabbing my guns and my ammo and my backpack and my stuff. Let's go. We got to go, man. We got to bug out. We got to get out of here. It's happening right now. They're coming for us. Are you prepared to kill? Are you prepared to do what we planned? He's like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about, John. We were rehearsing for this just last weekend. You know, when we were out in the woods wearing a camo, you know, I had to do something with mine because my belly was hanging over. But you know, yeah, we got to go, man. We got to meet up. We got to go. It's time to go. We got to bug out. We're on a list. And that guy freaked out. That's what Mike Flynn was doing to this dude. He's trolling him. 100% trolling him. And I'm getting somewhere with something here. Just getting somewhere. I'm just having a little fun today. What if Gary's out there? So this is our good friend Rachel Maddow. I know some of you are like, oh, my eyes and ears are burning. Stop playing. But she's a representation of how unhinged these people are right now. So just
back on to social media tomorrow morning. Mark my words, what we will quickly find is that former President Trump is just as obsessed now as he was in January with this fantasy that he still is the rightful president, that he was actually somehow reelected, but we can't see it. Joe Biden isn't really the rightful president, but at some point it'll all be revealed and Trump will be ushered back into the White House. I mean, that fantasy does appear to be still the main preoccupation of the former president. That same fantasy is what is driving the ongoing, totally bananas recount of the Arizona presidential election results, led by a QAnon promoter using theories from a guy who writes a book about treasure hunting to find mysterious folds and invisible watermarks on all the Arizona ballots that they believe will prove true their fantasy that Trump didn't really lose the election. That insane fantasy is also what is animating the anti-voting rights rollbacks in Republican-controlled states around the country.
Anti-voting rights rollbacks. You mean like setting election law back to constitutional standards by the ones that the Constitution actually give the authority to? You mean those kind of rollbacks? Is that what you're talking about? Let's see what's going on with the rollbacks. You see, here's a little doohickey. And cyber ninjas, those are the ones she keeps mocking. You know, oh, they're treasure hunters. Oh, we just have to mock them. Oh, let's mock them. Oh. We definitely have to discredit all this because this is ridiculous. So that's who Cyber Ninja is, right? Reveals existence of a Microsoft SQL server management studio in Antrim County EMS. Now, Cyber Ninja has also prepared a report after review of Antrim County Systems Exhibit 12. This report includes a multitude of problems found within the system and amount to gross error by Dominion and Antrim County. One of the most important discoveries is a detail on page 15 of the report. Here, Cyber Ninjas discovered a Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio implant on the system. This piece of software is not approved by the Election Assistant Commission, or the EAC, and allows the user to technically circumvent security protocol and make direct edit entries within the database, which would potentially be utilized to change the vote values. Hello, isn't that what Mike Lindell has been showing this whole time? Isn't Mike Lindell the one who's been saying that the vote values had been changed and he proved it mathematically? Perhaps most importantly, the software is not a separate, is a separate install. In other words, it should not be on the system. It is by its very definition a hacking tool. Maybe this is why they didn't want to release the servers. Oh, by the way, there's this picture. This is the Smartmatic CEO standing with Bill Gates. It says, Smartmatic, our CEO introduces Bill Gates to Smartmatic's efforts to improve elections around the world. I mean, steal elections around the world. I mean, approve. Yeah. Approve. That's the ticket. That's what it is. Yeah. That's the ticket. Global Citizens Meetings, London, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. This was in 2015. What a chummy pair that is. Isn't that wonderful? Yes, it's grand. Here's some more. Let's see. Okay. So here's a timeline the last few days. Bill Gates announces his divorce. Isn't that interesting? Attorney Matthew DePiro releases a report alleging that Microsoft SQL Server backdoor was found installed on Dominion Election Management System in Antrim County. I wonder if there's a coinkydink there. The Dominion EMS is used for tallying votes and creating final tally reports for the county. May 5th, Arizona Democrats forced Maricopa auditors to stop some voter canvassing efforts. They stopped them from looking at the freaking signatures. But I bet you they still are. I bet you there's more to come with that. On the 5th, also, the federal DOJ, the corrupt, sold out, Luciferian, devoted, who's heavily involved in all the fraud, DOJ warns Arizona officials about the Senate recount in Maricopa County, to which the Arizona Senator Wendy Rogers warns the federal DOJ to stay in their lane and not touch Arizona ballots or machines unless they want to wind up in Arizona prisons. That's how you handle the federal government. This is a state level issue constitutionally. But wait, there's more. Let's think about Bill Gates and his divorce. You think this guy's onto something? It says you have tons of stock. And you know that the stock is about to crash, maybe because there's a server. I'm just saying that may be hard on your stock. And you know your stock's about to crash bigly. Selling too much stock at one time is suspicious. Suspicion creates speculative panic, which lowers the value. Stock values drops. And so you're selling them before anyone else, since you have insider CIA info of an upcoming crash, or maybe you know what's going on down there in Arizona, you are selling them for less because you're losing money because everybody else jumps in on the panic. Solution: remove suspicion. Divorce: get a judge to tell you have to get rid of your stock. Sell it to your ex-wife or give them the monetary equivalent. You can now roughly sell half your stock at full price before everything collapses because it's not suspicious, it's only divorce. Also creates an alibi against insider trading. The only guy in Enron who didn't go to jail or get in trouble for selling off stocks prior to the collapse was the guy who sold it off because he got divorced. And it was court ordered. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with Bill Gates lately. This is in the I don't know if this is true department, but things that make you say, huh, which is why I'm here. So listen to this. Oops, I've muted it. I apologize again. Well, that's my gig, you know, it is what it is. Here we go.
So by now we've all heard of Bill and Melinda Gates and their recent divorce. Now recent reports are reporting that Bill and Melinda Gates had an agreement that Bill would visit his ex-girlfriend Anne every year, once a year. Now here's where shit gets weird. Bill Gates' ex-girlfriend is married to none other than Kevin Kline's brother. That's weird.
You remember that old show, Things That Make You Say, Do you know that in this Luciferian worldwide baby-eating coat of vampires, one of the things that the men have to do is they have to totally subjugate themselves to Lucifer, and they have to represent this by divorcing whatever women they're married to if they're married, and they have to marry men. Oh, anyways, moving on. That's enough about that. Wonderful. Isn't it all wonderful? Everything that's going on is so wonderful. These people, these government just wants to take care of us and be our big daddy. It's so grand and so great. So here we go. This is another little article. It says, guilty. Just in, Maricopa County Board of Supervisors declined not to provide routers requested by auditors of the county's 2020 election results. Maricopa County Board of Supervisors is obviously trying to hide something huge. Now, they have decided not to provide routers to the audit team attempting to audit the county's 2.1 million votes and the machines used in the 2020 election. We've seen multiple times since November 2020 election where Maricopa County Board of Supervisors decided not to comply with reasonable requests related to the 2020 election. And now, once again, they're trying to hide something. It says Maricopa County officials have not fully complied with the state's election audit subpoenas, a decision made to avoid causing a significant security risk to the data utilized by numerous law enforcement agencies, Maricopa County, blah, blah, blah. So what they're doing is they're trying to hide the piece of equipment that they've actually discovered this information on. And did I even load that in? I thought about loading it in. I actually had a screenshot of what they look like, and I didn't load it in. So there we go. So Maricopa County, oh, nothing but a bunch of commercials. Maricopa County is trying to, again, hold back hardware from these people so they can't see what's going on. Kind of crooked, don't you think? This is from Brian Crates, who's a political communist, columnist. Not trying to throw him under the bus. The American people really are, if the American people really are as powerless as some claim they are, if this fight is already lost and the shadowy cabal that forfeited the 2020 election is firmly in control, how is it that the audit is happening in Arizona? Or excuse me, that's not forfeited, that's fortified. Remember the fortified? That's that article they put out in Time magazine right after the election saying how they fortified. I'm making air quotes. See that? See, fortified the election. Yeah. How is it firmly in control? How is it that this audit is still happening? Why would there be more audits? And why are states being allowed to pass election security laws? The left sure as hell believes the Georgia law is real from the way they reacted to its passing, despite their over-the-top efforts to stop it. What you need to understand is part one of the great reveal has already happened. It happened from November 3rd, 2020 to January 20th, 2021, when Donald J. Trump forced the shadow cabal out into the open and made them steal the election by the light of day. See, they've been doing this for years and years and years. Barack Obama, in the dark. The would-be oligarchy was forced to do a plan B when plan A went belly up early on election night. Do you remember? Despite all the efforts to fortify the 2020 election, the hundreds of millions of dollars and all the lawyers they sent to target states, Trump was cruising to victory anyway. They really believed by sending out their hordes of lawyers and getting the election laws changed in several targeted states and pumping millions of dollars into the hands of state officials overseeing the state's election, they were guaranteed a Biden win on election night. And they were wrong. Despite the setbacks, desperate setbacks calls for desperate measures, which is exactly what happened, starting on election night. When the vote counting stopped simultaneously in multiple states as the cabal was forced to step out into the open and spend all of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday night of election week, arranging for the proper result that declared Joe Biden the winner. Trump showed all of America what the problem is. There's no denying this cabal exists. They were forced to call in Time magazine and explain what they did after Trump's exposed them. Now Americans can fix their election system, and we're watching that happen. Donald Trump, Sidney Powell, and General Flynn are not on the losing side of this fight. Now is the time for all patriotic Americans to rise up and be counted. You ready to rise up and be counted? Are you ready for what's coming? Are you ready? I mean, are you really ready? Are you really? You guys don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Because listen, this is what Lynn Wood said yesterday. Over the next 10 to 14 days, you will learn shocking information about many of our government officials and wealthy elite. Child sex trafficking and pedophilia are a worldwide pandemic. Revelations will relate to Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Chief Justice Roberts, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Mike Pence, Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates, and thousands more. I've seen the evidence. It's conclusive. This truly is a battle between good and evil. Are you prepared? Can you see it coming? There's a song there somewhere. Things are about to get real.
I stand in the place.
It's about to open. The door's about to open. Excuse me. This was May 4th on Flashpoint, and this is Kurt Kuckerman. And I think I said his last name, Kuhneman, I don't know. It's that guy. You know, I'm horrible at names, and I admit it. So there you have it. Get over it. Anyways, this is what he has to say. It's about 7 minutes long, but I fast forwarded it. I'm playing it just a little bit faster for time's sake. But I think it's going to relate to what Lynn Wood just said. I think it's going to relate to what that first video with that guy saying, you've come this far, you've done good. Take a breath, take a rest. You guys just take a deep breath today. Let it all out. Because God is coming. He may not come when you want him, but he's always right on time. And the Red Sea's about to part. And just listen to you got to hear this. Here you go.
place where my greatest desire is to be with God and to represent his heart and to represent it correctly. That's what true prophecy is. That's what the office of the prophet does, is it takes the heart of God and communicates it to the people. God's heart, his mind, his will, and his intent. When 9/11 took place, we need to go back that far. God began to speak on the very night our church met, and he simply said, where the place that the towers were attacked and fell, the nation wounded, I will raise up a president from that place, New York, born in New York, who will bring this nation back on course. And this president will be given 2 terms. That was on 9/11. God began to continue to add to the story. And I met with, as I said before, with Kim Clement, which I didn't know at the time. He didn't know me. We had prophecies that we never released publicly. I didn't release them. He didn't release them. We compared notes. We ministered to some government officials at that time. Both of our mouths were on the floor because God spoke and kept speaking that this would be the sign of America's awakening and reformation when this president from New York would arise. And so then God began to get more specific. And these are documented prophecies where he said in the 240th year of America's reign is when I will raise up one who shall be like a Moses, and they shall bring a deliverance to this nation from New York. Well, it happened. 240th year of America's reign was the 2016 election. God has not changed his mind. President Trump won. The nation is now in a place where we are being tested. Mark chapter 6 is where we are prophetically. Jesus told the disciples to get in a boat. They get in a boat. They begin to row. And Jesus is coming by way of a visitation. The disciples, which represents the church, misread the signs of Jesus' visitation and think that it's something evil. That's where a lot of people are at today. They cannot see what God is doing. They can't recognize a visitation. But yet Jesus was testing the church or the disciples. And the Bible says in Mark 6 that he intended to pass them by. It was a test. What would they do? Well, they were rowing against a wind that was blowing contrary. We're hearing contrary reports, contrary things that is dividing the nation, attacking the prophets, saying that, God is basically done with America. The prophets are wrong. So these winds are blowing. The disciples are rowing. A lot of chaos is happening in the boat. The disciples finally call Jesus in the boat, and something happens. A great acceleration begins to take place. Mark 6 says immediately they were on the other side. This is what is beginning to happen. We are now in the season that God is going to fulfill what he has spoken through the prophets. There were the 50 sons of the prophets that did not operate in the high level anointing that came upon Elisha because they were told that the leader would be taken away from them, but they didn't press in. There are some prophets that have backed off. They're not pressing in. And the prophets that will, the believers that continue to press in are the ones that are going to be rewarded in this day. And there came a time in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 15, where they said, the 50 sons, wow, the spirit of Elijah rests upon Elisha. They're going to see. These that are criticizing the prophets are going to see that they were in fact right. And I hear the Spirit of the Lord say, I am the God that takes away the old to establish the new. And this is what I am in the process of doing. Do not think for a moment, says the living God, that I am not working or that I have been silent. I've allowed hell to make it appear as though they have won and they are winning, and they have been wringing their hands. They have been celebrating. But God says great fear is even in the very bowels of hell and those who are cooperating with evil. Why are they afraid? It is because of what I am in the process of doing and what I will do, that I will bring an Independence Day to this nation. I will deliver it. I will set it free. And God says what I do shall take you through the summer months and even into the fall and throughout this year, that what I have promised and what I have declared, 2021, WON, shall be the fulfillment of your battles. And there shall be spoils of this battle that shall be given unto this nation. And God says, I am not done with President Trump. This is even part of the great awakening that shall cause men's mouths to fall open, and those who have reported even upon the news and have attacked and been part of the lies, they too shall see and be awakened that I am the God that shall step in, and I am the Lord that shall bring great things. Yes, great cancellations, great removals, and great good things shall begin to swiftly come. For men have looked at the 104 days and they say, surely there is no hope for the future of this nation. God says, I laugh at that. Do you understand that even as the Son of God went in the temple and overthrew the tables, I will do the same with the silly legislation. I will do the same with the agenda that they have tried to bring in this time, and I will throw it out because I have promised to give this nation to the children and to my son and to the honor of this nation that has pledged their allegiance for generations. I pledge my honor in return, says the living God. So get ready. There shall be a derailment, and this shall be a sign. Even the insects shall come and be a distraction. But do not be moved by these things, for I will move my hands swiftly and quickly, and I will bring a great return, and a celebration shall come upon this nation and upon the nations of the earth. And men shall even say, we did not think it would happen, but it has happened before us. And those that have been in strife, when they see the truth, when they see the evidence, and when they see the good, they will put their swords down, and a unity shall come among my people in the church, but it shall come even upon this nation, that great healing shall be brought forth. So the Lord says, the days are not prolonged. They are in process. Get ready, for you will see my hand, and you will say, look at what the Lord has done. Remember, things are not over, and things are not going to stay as they are. There is a future, and the future has God in it, and the future has God's intervention, and there's going to be an amazing day coming that we are going to celebrate. I want you to look up Ezekiel 12, verses 21 through 28, where it talks about there was a proverb in the land where they were saying that the visions are failing, they're being prolonged, and God sent his prophet and said, no, that's not the word of the Lord. The visions aren't failing, and they're not being prolonged. They are going to come to pass. Lastly, I want to say this. The lion is roaring. But a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, I saw a vision where the Lord was not just roaring as the Lion of Judah. He was ready to pounce. Get ready. The best is about to unfold.
The lion is ready to pounce. We're right at it. I saw another prophet that was talking the other day, and I don't remember if it was him or somebody else, but he said that we are not at the precipice. We are in the precipice. And if God doesn't move now, it's over. This is the event. This is it. This is where we're at. He said something that I've been saying all along since I started getting into the prophetic, and that is God's going to do something that will leave. He said, people's mouths will be wide open. I said mouths agape. If you go back and watch my videos from before Christmas, I said God's about to do something that will leave people agape. And I don't just mean the ones that are sleeping right now. Us that have been paying attention, that are awake, the people that watch my shows and Brad's shows and all the other shows are going, come on, would somebody do something? We're all going to be shocked. I mean, we're going to be shocked at what God does. It's bigger than we can. God's about to move. Thank God. I pray every day, God, don't let this stand. Get ready, folks, these next few days. I firmly believe that Lynn Wood is inspired by God to be in a place where he's at. He wouldn't be saying this if he didn't mean it. I don't know what the timeline is. I did the 2 prophecy videos with the Kim Clement prophecies and stuff. Go back and watch them. I don't know what hot summer and strange July mean. I don't know what am I impressed with your weapons of war mean, but look around the world. Go over to my Telegram account and watch some of the stuff that's been going on in Colombia, not Colombia, country Colombia. Everybody needs to hit their, we all need to get involved. We all need to stand up. We all need to make a stand right now on your social media, in person. Go to your city councils, go to your, right now, here, and if you're in Pettis County, they're having a meeting tonight over at the health center. I'm going to be there. I'm going to make a stand. I don't feel like going. I really don't, but I'm going. I'm going to make a stand. We need to make a stand. And we all need to hit our knees. Right now, we need to hit our knees. Tonight, we need to hit our knees. We need to ask God to bring his vengeance upon those who have stolen this election against his anointed. His anointed is, he calls him my David. Go read about David. Go read about the anointing. Go read about what happened to Saul. My David. We need to go out and we need to pray that God brings back his anointed, and that God brings vengeance upon those who have stolen the prophetic from the anointed. There, I said it. You guys have a great day. I'm going to jump off here. It's time for me to go to work. Be ready as it's happening. Talk to y'all later.